live. And I really wanted to broaden my horizons when it comes to being and dealing with technology. And so that is why I decided to do this and go live on all of these things at the same time. So, if you don't know me, I'm Noelle Co-Star, and you can find out more about me at noellness.com. Today, I'm going live because it is the new moon in Libra solar eclipse. And this literally was just happening. So, I think the eclipse was like at 1:50 today. So basically, we're right after here. Hi, Cynthia. How are you? So thank you for being here. Thank you for being on with me and spending this new moon eclipse with me together. My husband is over here frantically trying to get me to look direction, but I think no matter what happens here, know that I am talking to you. I want to look directly at you and be here with you while I'm giving you the reading. I'm just not exactly sure where I'm looking, but I feel like I am looking into outer space. Okay, so here's the first thing I want to say is that one of the most important parts about having this interaction, this experience together, is that you decide to participate and you play full out while you're here. And what that means is that I'm going to do some readings today, and what I want for you is I want you to show up and be present for your reading too. We already know I'm going to be here, we already know I'm going to be doing some readings, but I want you to show up and be present. I want you to bring your energy and your intentions and your true heart to the situation. So don't be afraid. I want you to get in the comments and interact, because when you show up this way, when you put your comments into the comment and you interact and you show up, what happens is that providence moves. And what that means is that this works in every area of your life. Where you show up, the universe reorients itself and meets you there. And so you'll always get more out of participating and really being present. Okay, so what is this eclipse? What is this eclipse going to do? What is going to happen here? Because today is the first eclipse, and in 2 weeks we have the second eclipse, the lunar eclipse. And so this is kind of like a little corridor. And in this space, lots of things are going to happen. It's going to feel like a swirling storm, creating all kinds of commotion in our lives. And what that looks like is it looks like it's going to be showing and shining a light on anywhere that you're out of balance, anywhere that you have already too much energy going somewhere and not enough somewhere else. It's like a kind of a rework where it's going to kind of show you like, oh, there's too much happening here, or maybe this is from the past, something from the past that you are still carrying that has you out of whack. It's going to go like, here's how we rectify this now. So old things are coming up to rectify things, to make balance and make new, like a new slate type of way. Okay. So that's one thing. The second thing it's going to do is it's going to show you where you're out of alignment with where you're trying to go, with where your higher self is guiding you. And so, you're going to be able to see, oh my gosh, I'm spending too much time doing this. Or the other thing that might happen is where we have, I'm going to say the word addictions. And I want you to understand that addictions are more than just to alcohol or to a cigarette or something, to people, to ways we spend money, to food, to watching different shows. We can be too much energy in the extreme of so many things. And so this is an addiction, right? And so instead of showing you like, here's ways to quit your addiction, this eclipse is going to maybe make you feel like you're falling further into that. and like make you really notice where you're more connected and sucked in to the things that are maybe creating you to be drifting in the wasteland a little bit and not being in alignment with your highest self, not being in alignment with that. So, if you haven't already subscribed to No Wellness YouTube or liked my Facebook or my Instagram, if you're not following me, please do so because I would love to connect with you and spend more time. It definitely feels like I can't see. This is such a funny process. To have all, I mean, it's just a little weird. I know for sure if you are on YouTube watching this, it's going to feel to you like I'm looking up and you're getting a chin view the whole time. And so I'm sorry about that, or that my eyes are like up in the sky. Um, all right. So, what I was talking about before is that behavior patterns are going to be coming up for you where it's going to show you where you're falling into these things. And so, because this new moon eclipse is in Libra, it wants us to look at our relationships. It wants us to look at our behavior patterns. And by relationships, I don't mean just like relationships like you and your spouse or you and your kids or something. I'm talking about, like I just said, your relationship to your thought process, your relationship to your government, your relationship to food, your relationship to what you're doing in your household, your habitual patterns, and why you're in relationship doing these certain things with these things. So it wants to bring all this stuff in this storm. It's going to feel kind of like a storm moving through. And it's going to be shifting around, and anything that's loose, debris that needs to be shed is going to happen. It's going to swirl it all around, and it's going to feel like certain things need to leave. And the storm's going to water things that need to be planted and need to grow. Okay. So it's going to create for sure a radical review of the things that we're doing, turning us towards more making conscious choices. Conscious choices. So if you're here live with me today, one thing that I would like for you to do, if you want, I am going to be giving away a 1 hour reading with me, a private reading. And so, if that's something that you're interested in winning, you can type into the comments, choose me, and we will put you into the magical wonder wheel that my son is making, and we'll pick a winner at the end of the reading today. Okay. So, um, big changes are on the horizon, big changes for sure. And so today I want to ask some questions. And these questions are going to be number one, what is being planted? What is being watered in your life? What needs to be nourished? Okay. Number two, what is out of balance with you? And number three, what's going to be washed away during this 2 week period? What is ready to go and needs to leave? And then number four, what can you do over these next 2 weeks to really find your center and stay grounded? Okay. Um, if you haven't already picked a pile, 1, 2, or 3, go ahead and choose that now and write it in the comments, 1, 2, or 3. And what I'm going to do is I have I'd never look at the cards before I'm with you live. So that's one of the things. I like it to be a surprise for myself. I don't like to see the cards or anything. I like to be fully in channel while it's happening. Um, but because there's 4 different questions here that I want to answer for each person, whether you pick 1, 2, or 3, I decided I want to do it kind of in it all at once so that it doesn't feel like you're waiting around to hear your reading if you picked 3. Okay. So we're going to answer the first question. right away for everybody and then do the second question. So stick with me to the end if you want to hear answers for everything. Um, but if you are somebody that loves tarot and you like getting readings, or you have some cards, maybe you have some oracle cards, and you have been thinking about maybe getting started doing readings and it feels overwhelming to you, and maybe you haven't really figured out like how you can connect and do a real reading where you don't have to look in a book for every card, then I want you to go over to my new website, tarottribe.com, thetarottribe.com, all one word, and get yourself my guide. I have an amazing guide on there. Put your name, put your email, and you're going to get so much material to get you moving towards being able to do a really insightful reading without having a book right there. Okay. So you're going to get a video, you're going to get an audio guided meditation, a guide, and a checklist. So I wanted to make sure you're fully supported. If this is something that you're interested in doing and learning about, so go ahead on over there and thetarottribe.com and check it out. And if you're somebody that's been doing readings for a while and you're really just looking for a place where you can be with some like-minded other people and practice doing readings, because what happens and what I see a lot with students is that they don't do readings and the only person you're reading for is yourself. And so when that happens, you don't really learn a lot. It takes a very long time. There's 78 cards for you to interact with all the cards and see them playing out. It's difficult. But if you have people that you're consistently practicing with and you're getting to see cards playing out in real lifetime scenarios, you learn so much by getting confidence, by getting validated. So, tarottribe.com is open right now. My doors for the Tarot Tribe to join the Tarot Tribe is open right now just for the month of October. And so, if this is something that you're interested in doing, go over there and check it out. All right. So, let's go ahead and get started here with some readings. So, okay, so for everybody who picked number one, okay, the first thing we're going to look at is what needs to be nourished, what's being planted for you right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. Okay, so we got the Seven of Stones, and the deck I'm reading out of today is called the Chrysalis deck. And it's got these beautiful butterflies on it. And I chose this deck today because really we are in this, especially during this eclipse, it feels like this chrysalis where we're going to be emerging different creatures. We're definitely ascending for sure. So the Seven of Stones, it's just so interesting because this card specifically looks like you're already in nature, really doing some of that gardening, doing some of that planting. And so this is something that it feels like they want you to spend some time on. Being out in nature and nourishing yourself this way is going to be something that helps you. It's going to be something that's a habit that as you're going forward, paying attention to the things that you're eating, paying attention to your connection to food. This is something that's really going to serve you going forward in the next couple of months. They also make me feel like, you want things to be right now. You want the things that you want right now. And so this is the card of saying, don't worry. The things that you're doing right now, put them in one at a time and trust, just like you trust if you put a seed into the ground, that it's going to grow, that it's going to become something. You have to trust that the seeds that you have been planting, that you have been sowing, in your life, even though maybe you're not seeing the fruit yet, that during this time, it's super important to not get weary in well doing. It's important that you wait with a good attitude, because you can go and dig your seed up and be like, why is it not there? But what you're doing is casting into the universe a monkey wrench that's like trying to knock out what you initially were planting and intending. Okay. So for you, what needs to be nourished during this time is your relationship with food, and eating more whole foods that are like fruit, vegetables, um, being out in nature. This is really important for you over the next couple of weeks. Okay. All right. So if you pick number 2, let's see for you what needs to be planted at this time. So we've got the Strength card upside down. And in this deck, showing it around. In this deck, there's a man on here named Papa Legba. And, this card is upside down. So it's saying that, where you have been planting seeds of insecurity, of, where maybe you haven't felt like you have been in your full, vibrant self. Okay. And specifically around, the things that you're letting your mind hold. If you would reorient your mind right now is an opportunity, because when you do readings, one thing is for sure is that this stuff isn't set in stone. The future is fluid. It's always changing. We have choices all the time. Okay. And so, this is wanting you to really look at, where have you been insecure and letting yourself go all over the place in your mind. It's asking you to stop doing that. And right now, you have the opportunity through these next couple of weeks to focus your mind. You have to be diligent in catching yourself. You have to be diligent in catching yourself. Focusing your mind on what it is that you would like. Don't give any attention to what you don't want. If it's illness, if it's a better marriage, if it's more money, whatever it is that you're having a lot of negative self-talk about, stop doing that and come over here and decide what kind of power statements are going to serve you. And every day, start speaking those over your life so that you can start changing the chronic dialogue that's happening over this topic. You can't create something different from doing the same thing. And that's the most important thing about catching your mind. And so, where you have felt this way, this is a time to definitely go, okay, I don't want to sow more of this in my life. I don't want to feel weak. I don't want to feel like a victim. I don't want to feel like I am not in my power. I'm ready to make some different choices around whatever the topic is. And it might be radical change, because this eclipse, that's what it's bringing for people. People that maybe have been married for 40, 50 years, they might get divorced. You might have had a whole different trajectory. You might have worked for a company for 20 years, and all of a sudden, boom, you're leaving right now. Like, that is the change that's happening, these big, massive shifts. And it's happening for everybody, just in different ways. So, all right, if you are number threes, we are about to talk about what needs to be nourished in you. What do you want to sow during this time? And we got here the star card. The star card. And so right now, it's important for you to be working in your dreams, to be focused on and spending time with every day your big ideas, the real dreams that are in your heart, because these are the things that need to be nourished and tended to. And so, you know, I love all these horses in the air, but one of them is a unicorn, and it looks like maybe two of them are unicorns. This card is so magical, and what I love about this is that, right now for you, there's big things that want to come into your life. And so it's really important to spend time nourishing these things. A lot of times we'll go like, oh, I hope, or I wish, or if once upon a time, and you think about it one time and you think like that is all a wing and a prayer. But yet we spend countless hours with our woes, worrying and overthinking, all kinds of daily stuff that really doesn't make a big difference in our life. Where this kind of stuff shifts your reality. This kind of stuff is like really seeing your light come to fruition. And so I would encourage you on the regular right now, every single day, put a song on for at least 5 or 6 minutes and spend some time just thinking about what it would be like if this or that or the other thing came to pass. And I'll just tell you, if you're a 3, I have an event coming up called The Magic of Manifesting on November 11th. And this event would help serve your dreams so much. That's what this event is all about. Every single one of you out there, you have things that are unique to you in your heart to do on planet Earth. And then you do them. And then there's new things because the universe, God, your source is always it's in you. It's never without you. So you are always wanting to express more. You are always wanting to create new things. And if you really are true to that, how can you bring it here in the physical plane? And, my husband and I have spent a lot of time studying this stuff. And I have seen this play out in my own life and the lives of so many clients over the years. And so this event's going to be on November 11th. Go over to nowellness.com and check it out. Because if you're over here, number 3, this is a good time for you to really focus on taking time for you to focus on your dream. And that doesn't mean doing work. Do. That's all the physical stuff. And yes, that's part of it. But a big aspect of how we bring things in is understanding what is creating our reality. And the magic of manifesting will help you understand that. And we also do a lot of woo-woo stuff to get rid of old energy and allow you to bring in a quantum leap in your life. Okay, so if you're just joining me, if you are just now getting on here, like I said, it's hard for me to tell what's going on with all these screens, but I just did the first round of cards. So I'm going to do now our second question. And the second question is, what is out of balance for you in your life? And if you're enjoying this reading so far, please maybe share these readings with your friends, because if you're here and you're getting good quality information out of this, there's probably other people in your life that can use this too. So please share and like this Facebook Live or YouTube or Instagram. Okay, so the next question is, if you pick, you can pick one, two, or three. You already picked before at the beginning, but I am doing it this way. So, some of you might be called to be like, oh, I'm going to take that from this and this and this. um, it's entirely up to you. Take what you need, friend. But we're going to do number one, people. If you pick number one, then this is for you. Where are you out of balance? Okay. And so we have here Ariandi, which is the death card. Okay. Now, sometimes people get very freaked out when they see the death card. In this particular deck, it doesn't look so scary. It's Ariandi. So I want to just share a little bit. The death card isn't meant to freak you out. It's meant to talk about a cycle of life. And that is that all things break down and need to be reborn. All of our cells, all of the plants, everything here. And it's not just like a physical departing, but a lot of times it's this going in to be reborn. And that's kind of what this is for you. Where you're out of balance is that there hasn't been, you've either spent too much time working on your rebirth, or you've spent too much time going inward. But I specifically, they're bringing my attention back here because I want to talk about being sometimes blind to the truth, is how they're making me feel. Is that sometimes we can be really out of balance because we want so much to help somebody, or we want so much to be noticed, or we want so much to be, the one that is the, healer, or the best cookies, or whatever it is. We want to be recognized or loved, maybe, feeling that void. And so we go over and above and beyond. And so they're really making me feel like this is an area of your life that's out of balance for you. And having a real look at that, and being able to be in your moment, making more conscious choices, asking yourself, why am I feeling the need to serve this person so much? Is it genuinely out of the kindness of my heart, or is there another story or ulterior motive going on here that maybe I've just not been conscious of before? Because they make me feel like the other way leads you to feeling alone and leaves you feeling left behind. And so they're making me feel like it's so important for you to come out of this eclipse season with a new awareness on that, so that you can have real loving, supportive connections in your life and not feel like things are leaving you behind, because you feel validated and you feel worthy, because you're not behaving out of these old patterns of feeling empty. So I hope that wasn't too harsh or direct. I still love you. Okay, so um, if you pick number two, let's see what you got. Okay, so you got the Poet, or the King of Scrolls, King of Swords in most decks, upside down. Okay. So where you are out of balance, well, there's so many things that I could say right now. One of the first things that I'm going to say is, you might be giving your power away to somebody else. And this could be a doctor that you're giving your power away to. This could be a husband. This could be a boss. It feels very much like um, they want you to look at this giving your power away in this situation, and it's by letting somebody else get into your head and let you think that they know more or that they're right or maybe they're more argumentative. But the other thing is, there's decisions that you need to make. And you're out of balance with this because it feels like there's a lot of thought process that goes on, but really not a lot of clear, concise, decisive action. And whatever's gone on here, it feels like in the household, okay, um, it feels like the way we're speaking to each other isn't always filled with love. Feels like there's could be a lot of sarcasm or a lot of snarky remarks. And so I would really look at this and see, where are we doing this too much? Where am I overthinking and not making enough decisions for myself? Where am I giving my power away? And where have I let either myself get involved with talking this way, being more negative or sarcastic, or like, somebody says something and maybe you might not say it out loud, but in your head, it's like, well, they always do that, this type of stuff. Or, well, like that's how they're making me feel like it's a snarkiness or I just know this is what they're going to do. And so they're asking you to open your mind and direct your thoughts more towards what you'd like to see people's behavior around you be. Or, so a part of this is really calling your power back and working on that for yourself. Okay, so that's where um, I feel like you're the most out of balance. Okay, so number threes. Number threes, let's see where you are out of balance. Okay, well, this card is looking omnibus in this deck, eh? Okay, this is the Tower card. The Tower card. And this one actually says Kali on here, which is kind of like the god of fear. And so, how about number one? The obvious is that potentially you're allowing your fears to get the better of you. And for you, threes, the first card was also a major arcana card. So here it's showing us that you have some bigger energies going on than anybody else in the reading so far. You have some bigger, more shifting movements, and it's interesting that one of the things that wants to be nourished in you is your dreams, but one of the things where you're out of balance is with your fears. So that's probably what's holding you back in your life right now, is letting fear guide you more and potentially logic guide you more than your actual heart and your desires and your belief and connection to all that is. But the other thing that's out of balance is potentially things that are going on in your house. I mean, this card literally has like a tower with a tree splitting in half and a bunch of skulls above it, hands coming out everywhere. And so it might feel like a lot of things are going wrong in your house. And this could be physically, you could physically be having like, I got this breaking down and this breaking down and this breaking down, and it's causing me to be afraid because am I going to have the money to fix it? Am I going to be able to handle this stress? Or, just causing unnecessary worries. But this could also be going on in the relationships in your household, the way people are interacting together, causing more of a worry. And the other thing is feeling like there's little emergencies or things that are outside of your control control that does make you feel like this is making me feel like my life is out of balance because I don't have as much control as I would like over these things. And so, one of the things that would be good for you that would serve you over this time of these next couple of weeks is to really just look at how can I, A, stop feeding the fear. Start deciding, making a decision that I'm not going to feed the fear. When the fear comes in, I'm going to acknowledge it. And then I'm going to say, okay, is this real? Is this thing that I'm worried about, is this real? Has it happened? Is it true? Or is it something I'm believing over this? And would it be possible for me to believe something else right now? Okay. So, for instance, you could say, where before maybe this happened every time, or before I had this, I was in a car accident before. And so I know that that's not going to keep happening every time I'm in a car, but I do feel on edge when I'm in a car. And so I'm going to start noticing when I feel on edge and relax my shoulders and say to myself, I am out on the road and drivers around me are all paying attention. I am everywhere I go, I am safe and protected and guided by love. These are things that we can program in for ourselves. Okay? So it's just a different shift. Things happen to us and then we behave certain ways, and a lot of times it's unconscious. And this eclipse is trying to show and bring those things to light where we can get conscious of those things. And so for you, my friend, it is, where are you acting in your fear over love, acting in your fear over truth? Okay. All right. So if you're just tuning in, I'm doing new moon solar eclipse readings. And the next question we're going to be answering is what needs to be released, what's being washed away over these next couple of weeks. And so if you pick number one, we are about to find that out for you. If you're enjoying these readings right now, type yes in the comments. And if you just are getting on and you want to um, win a free reading with me, you can type in the comments, choose me. And at the end, I am going to be picking somebody. My son is going to make me a wonder wheel, and we're going to pick somebody for a free reading. Okay. Sorry, I need a little water break. All right. So next up is number ones. What is being washed away? Ooh, so we got the Hermit. The Hermit. Okay. Now, number ones. This is now your second major arcana card as well. So this, what is out of balance and what needs to be released? These are big energies moving through your life that are connected and important, and where you potentially, are noticing that you're needing to break new ground and have a new way of being in your life. Sometimes that's really what this is saying, is that we go into being alone, where we hide ourselves away, or we say, I just need to do this and that and the other thing, and then I'll do this and that. Like, it's like we cocoon down in. And this card is definitely saying, you have all these gifts, and it's time to start deciding, what you're going to do with them. And where you have spent a lot of time thinking about this and being alone, it's now time to let that go and come out into the world and start shining your light and sharing your gifts more. And so that could be in any different capacity. I don't know what your unique talents abilities are, but you have them. Okay. Don't think for a second that you don't have amazing gifts, blessings to give the world, to give other people. You don't have to give 500 people, 500,000 people your gifts. If you give your gifts away, if you give yourself away to somebody every week, you'll be making a huge difference on the planet. Okay. Just interacting is so good. So, what will be washed away for you during this time is your need to study, is your need to think you need to know more, is your need to like be like, oh, I have to do this and that and the other thing before I start taking action. No, you don't need to. You're right where you are. You're ready where you are. You're never going to stop learning. Okay. But the time now is for you to come out and for you to start giving your gifts away, sharing what you have learned through this process of your life, sharing what you have learned with others. Okay. Number two, what do you need to wash away? All right. It's interesting. The number two pile, every card has been reversed so far. What's washing away from you is a lot of struggle. It has felt like there's been a lot of struggle happening for you, challenges, maybe physically, but definitely feeling like there's been bickering, competition, just back and forths that have felt very uncomfortable. And this is leaving your life right now. Feels very much like, where you have felt like you have had to be more defensive and more aggressive in your nature, that this is leaving you. And this is something that's being cleared out with your now. And so it's going to feel like you are more physically capable than you have been being. And it's going to feel like you are more, able to get along and not have so much adversity surrounding you, if that makes sense. All right. I know we've been going now for a little while, so I'm trying to go a little bit quicker through these cards here, the letting go, so we can get to the dun dun dun. What do you need to ground and find your center? Okay, number three, people. If you number three, we got here the Four of Spirals. The Four of Spirals. And so what is going to be washed away or let go right now for you? Well, some of you might be deciding that you're going to let go of, it could be a house. You might be ready to sell a house, get rid of a house, change your residence. It feels like there is a leaving of a job or a residence happening for you where you are needing to move on to the next thing. And so there's circumstances that are presenting themselves in your life right now to shake things up over these next couple of weeks to show you like, hey, we're ready to move on from this. And it does feel like what is coming in next for you is going to be good. It feels like it's going to be happy and definitely a better fit than, and not that where you're at right now hasn't been a good fit. It just feels like you're ready for the next thing. Okay. So sometimes we stay for a long time in a place, not because it's still a good fit, but because it's comfortable. And comfort is feels better, even if it's painful, than change, because change is unknown, right? So this card definitely is speaking to the fact that there's some change ready for it to happen for you. And it might be just to like go on vacation and rent a house or something to get you out of your current situation. They just are making me feel like there's a real need for you to be in a different place for at least a couple of weeks so that you can get perspective on what's been going on and really be able to guide your own thoughts. So that is what is leaving your life. Maybe a job or a residence. Okay, so our final question for the reading, and that is, what do you need to know to ground during this time and find your center? And if you're still here, I just want to say thank you so much for sticking on and being on here this whole time. I know I did a little bit longer than I usually do because I wanted to do, a bunch of cards. I wanted to give you more of a in-depth reading for this new moon solar eclipse because you know why? Because we're going through an enormous amount of things right now. There are planets all going to be going direct in succession over the next few months. And so we're having a lot of energy, like so much coming in. I don't know if you all have been able to feel it, but for me, I've been able to feel so much. And we need a lot of grounding right now. We need a lot of support right now. And so, if you're somebody who loves tarot cards and you're looking for support and you would like to learn more, please visit thetarottribe.com and get a guide on how to do really insightful readings, even if you're a beginner. And if you are somebody that really wants to be with a tribe of people that are looking for the light, that are reading cards, that are getting answers in our lives, then join us because I'd love to have you. I'd love to have you. You can cancel anytime, but definitely we have a great time over at the Tarot Tribe. Okay, so last card, number ones. You are getting the Two of Stones here. And in this deck, this is like a bear looking to cross over onto this other mountain. And it's just so funny because this is literally a stone. What can you do to ground? Well, one of the things that can help you ground is for you, if you haven't been taking a look at your money, if you haven't been looking at if you're somebody that's like out spending and you don't really reconcile all that stuff very often, it's saying this can be very grounding for you right now. Doing some of these physical tasks to get your life in order, whether it's, I need to make some different calls because I want to cancel this credit card or do this or that or the other thing. It feels very much like there's some of these tasks that are needing to be done. And that in doing that, it will help you be more rooted right now. And you won't feel so scattered. The other thing is that it's extremely important for you to get out in nature. And this is the second time that's coming up for you, number ones. Okay, the need to be in nature, the need to be spending more time doing that. And sometimes it can feel like, well, where the heck am I supposed to fit this stuff in? I have a job, I have kids, I have a spouse, I have, groups and friends and all this kind of stuff. But over these next couple weeks, because we have so much solar energy coming in with just different solar flares and things like that, it's like it almost feels like this around us a little bit or inside. And so, getting out and connecting with nature, getting the electrons from the earth, feeling that connectedness to all things, that's what's going to help you really have a rebirth. That's what's going to help you really be able to, shine your light and get confident and get clear about who it is that you are and what it is that you have to give out right now. So, potentially skip the bears, maybe, I don't know, but maybe do a hike, go for a hike. If you live up north, certainly. If you live down here, we're even having fall visit us today. It's like a breath of fresh 78. Yeah. All right. So if you are number two, what what can you do to find your center? And that is, you got the Four of Scrolls, by the way. Four of Scrolls. So for you, one of the things that you can do to find your center and ground throughout this time is number one, meditate. You need to develop a meditation practice right now. Okay. So if you don't have one for the next 2 weeks, at least do some breathing. And if you type in the comments, breathe, I will send you a video on how to do a little breathing technique to at least start your meditation practice off. Just doing some breath work can help that. But another thing that's important for you is to rest. Check this person out. Is fully sleeping, fully, resting. This is important because if you don't rest, you're going to be forced to rest. Okay. And so it's better to choose than to be forced, in my opinion. Although most of the time we'll run ourselves ragged until we're forced, but it definitely feels like you need to take some time out and to really find your center, just to connect and meditate and to get some serious rest. That means to go to bed early, maybe take naps right now, and that's going to help your brain and your nervous system function in a much better place over the next couple of weeks. Okay. All right. And lastly, we've got for number threes, if you are a number three, I've got here the Six of Spirals. And it's interesting because in this card, it almost looks like laundry is on the line. And I'm like, surely that can't be what you need to do, but it might be. You might need to get some laundry done, some decorations out around your house, some things that are going to just really feel like, okay, I've gotten stuff taken care of. And these activities are grounding to me. These activities are the day to day things that I'm not really being conscious of. A lot of times we're doing these day to day activities and we are somewhere else. We're listening to a podcast, we're watching something on our phone, we're listening to our children talk, the TV's on over there, or, everything's trying to get us to be in 20 different directions. It's very rare that you just go, I'm going to fold some laundry. And while I'm folding laundry, I'm going to think like, I'm so thankful that I have clothes. I'm so thankful that I have a washing machine and a dryer, because people used to have this stuff. And there's still people in the world that don't. I'm so thankful that I have the time and ability to do something like this and care for myself and my family this way. This conscious effort. Um, It feels to me, number three is like you're going to be taking a lot of action in your life right now. And if you have been worried that, obviously you have been worried, there's a lot of fears that have been with you, but it feels very much like you're going to have um, a success, that whatever it is that you're looking to do, or if you're going somewhere right now, if you're wanting to move or change a career, it feels like, yes, this is going to be so good. And what's interesting to me is we have this full moon in the back. And the full moon is like almost eclipsed by all the trees. But we literally have a full moon eclipse coming up here in 2 weeks. So this might even speak to timing for you, that this that you're working on with a new career, with a change of residence, or whether it is that you're planning a party or something like this, it feels like something's taking place at the house, or at a house. Then in the next 2 weeks, there's going to be a lot of success that is wrapped up and finished through this. And so all of the work, all of the activities, it's all going to be grounding for you and help you to find your center. But like I said, the day-to-day activities like doing laundry, like doing dishes, like doing decorating, holiday decorating or whatever, feels like this stuff is going to be what's grounding to you. So make sure that you're doing some of those things, not letting them pile up, and because you're so busy with whatever else that you're trying to accomplish, they're making me feel like the grounding action is to be present and to do some of the activities in a presence. Okay. So this was a really big reading, and I hope that you guys really enjoyed it and found it to be valuable. If you want more support creating your dreams, creating what you want to come in 2024, I'm telling you, we do this event once a year, and last year we didn't even have it. But this year is going to be our best ever Magic of Manifesting. So if you live in the Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, Riverview, Brandon, Valrico area, man, come over to the nowellness.com, check it out, get your ticket. It's going to be a life-changing event, I promise you. And I love you all so much. I'm so thankful that I had the honor of being here this Saturday afternoon with you. You could be doing anything, and you chose to be here with me for an hour. And so I appreciate that. And if you're watching the replay, I love you just as much. I hope that you got in the comments, and I hope that we had just the greatest experience together as if you were here live. All right. So I will be seeing you guys probably. I think I'm going to do this again for the full moon because we're having this succession of energy right now. And so I want to be able to support you. I probably won't do as long of readings next time, but this was the beginning of the corridor. And I really felt like it was important and valuable for you to know what you can do over these next 2 weeks to really serve yourself, to really feel your best, and know that there's so much going on with this energy that you're not alone. Over the last couple of weeks, people have been angry. Clearly, you can see what happened after that super full moon in Aries with the war that's now what all atrocities happened there. But we're looking at this. We're looking at this stuff. We're looking at the anger within. A war can't take place on one side of the world and think that nobody else is affected. We're all connected. We are all one. So work on you, because when you develop inner love, when you develop more peace within, you're affecting the whole. And sometimes when you see this big, huge mess in the world, it thinks like, how can I do anything? Everything's already so fucked up. You can work on you. When you work on you, you are contributing to the whole. As you learn to love you, more love happens in the world. Okay? When you focus on fears, when you focus on anger, when you focus on all the things that drive this motor of uh, war, anger, hate out in the world, that it's thoughts are things they create. So over this period of time, catch yourself. I beg of you, catch yourself, see what you're thinking about, and make it be something awesome. All right. Have a great rest of your weekend. And if you're in the circle of light, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, wait, I forgot. We have to give away a reading. All right. So you know what we're going to do is, I don't know, Billy, if you're hearing me or anything, you want to put everybody who put in for the reading into the wheel. and let me know. We might click off and just make a separate post right now if nobody shows up here. I totally forgot. Sorry. um, are you still here with me? You're welcome, Tracy. I'm glad that you were able to be here with me. Thank you for being here, Anita. I don't know if we're still going. Did we do a wheel?